It's just fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kaz, and today I'm going to bring to you a review of this Fireball Island by Restoration Games. You're all a bunch of adventurers, or in my case I just say you're a bunch of vacationers who thought you were going to Hawaii, got thrown off on this island, which has got a raging demonic looking volcano who wants to destroy everything and kill you. But he is mad because you're trying to thieve off of him, take all the treasures off the island, and you know, at some point you're trying to steal his heart instead of, you know, taking him out to dinner like you should, romancing him the right way. You try to steal his heart, so of course he's angry. It is a remake by Restoration Games of the game that came out in 1986, 87, I forget the exact date, but it was in the mid-80s. Now as a kid, I only got to play this thing maybe once or twice. I mean, it was very, very little. I had a friend of mine who had it, and I just remember the concept was cool, and I think every kid loves this. My children love the look of this game. So as a kid, I loved the look of the game because it had, you know, that 3D look, and marbles are shooting out of this dude's mouth, and da-da-da-da-da. So what I'm gonna do is get this joker down, put it on the table, and then I'm gonna go ahead and not only show you how it looks, but give you my final thoughts as we go. In Fireball Island, you are a group of adventurers who've arrived here by helicopter to traverse the island's many different kinds of paths through its wild jungles. You will cross rivers and volcanic areas, all while avoiding the island's many dangers. Your goal is to collect as many treasures as you possibly can, and even try to claim the heart of Vulkar, and make it back to the helipad so that you can leave the island safely before you are destroyed by Vulkar himself, or you will be engulfed in Fireball Island. You'll start off with your adventure on the helicopter. And yes, I did say helicopter. Each player is going to gain 2 action cards and 1 souvenir cards to start. Now your souvenir cards give you special abilities such as jetpack. Play after you finish your action card. Move 5, do not stop on unstable spaces. Or the tote bag. Play when you would lose any treasures. You do not lose any treasures. Play the water bottle. Play when you're about to draw an action card. You may take an action card from the actual discard pile instead. Now, there are many different kinds of action cards. The first thing on them is going to be movement. If you play the card, you must move the full complement that it says. But the secondary part of the card, which is under the triangles, is something you may take. It doesn't necessarily have to be done. Some examples of action cards would be a move 6. After moving, you draw a souvenir card. Or move 10. After moving, you get to launch an ember marble. Move 12. You cannot grab treasures from slabs while moving. You may still steal treasures and take snapshots. After moving, you get to rotate palm trees or Vulkar. Or a cataclysm card. Move 6. After moving, drop all the fireballs in the scar into Vulkar, and then discard this to the Cataclysm tracker. When moving your figure, you move your figure each basic step, jumping over the little darkened areas on the path. Anytime you start on or enter a treasure space as you move, you may grab one of the treasure tokens on the slab connected to that space. You then keep the treasures face down in front of you for later scoring. You're only able to gain 1 treasure at a time as you activate this space. If you move into an unstable area, such as a bridge or the ladder, you have to stop no matter what the amount of spaces say on your card. If you move into an area with a cave, which are number 1 through 3, you stop, you roll this die, and whatever number it lands on, you go ahead and move to that numbered cave. If there are other figures in your way on the path, you just hop over that space and ignore it completely. Also, you cannot be moving one direction and then turn around and reverse that movement. If you start on or enter a snapshot space, you may take that matching snapshot unless you already have a snapshot of that color, or all the snapshot cards from that space have been taken already from other people or other players in that spot. Now, you may take the Heart of Vulkar, but watch out, once you do, you immediately add a fireball to the scar, and then also other players passing by you may steal the Heart of Vulkar. Now, when it came to the action cards, there are several different actions that we mentioned before you can take. You can rotate Vulkar, If you do, you turn his figure once in either direction. Or if you rotate a tree, you can reset it to any orientation you want. You can launch an ember marble. You only use one finger to push it. You can't flick it, but you can push the marble as hard as you like. But if it leaves the island, you have to put one of your treasures into the maw where the lucky penny is, and anyone you knock over stands up without losing a treasure. Now, if you successfully knock over a figure without the marble leaving the island, that player loses a treasure of their choice and gives it to you. But then that player also gets to draw a souvenir card. Speaking of that, if you accidentally knock yourself over somehow, you put a treasure into the maw, and then you draw a souvenir card. Now, if somebody bumped the table, you just ignore the effects. Now, another action is the Cataclysm. What you do is you put that card into the Cataclysm tracker, and then you take all the fireballs that are currently in the scar and drop them into Vulkar one at a time. Now, if there are 3 Cataclysm cards in the tracker, you go ahead and put a new fireball into the scar, and that stays there for the rest of the game. If you add the 4th marble to the scar, that actually triggers the end of the game. Now, on your turn, you're going to do these things in this order. If you're knocked over, you stand your figure back up on its space. You play an action card from your hand, and then you draw a new action card. After that, you reset the island, meaning return all marbles to their preset spots. You reset any bridges or the ladder if they were disrupted. Now, there are a couple of ways to end the game. If a player enters the helipad space while carrying at least 3 different colored snapshots, or the scar has 4 marbles in it at the end of the turn, the helicopter returns and players may climb on board. When entering the helicopter, choose a token in the maw and put it in front of you. Once a player's in the helicopter, they cannot leave it. The game ends when all players are in the helicopter, or all players after that point have had 2 turns. On the back of your player card, it shows you how many points each treasure or snapshot counts. Now, these kinds of treasures, they multiply according to how many you have of each color. And whoever has the most at the end of the game wins. Now, let's get back to my final thoughts. I had a great time with this game. Everybody who has played this game has had a great time with it. I've played it with my wife, played it with my kids, played it with the combination. I've played it with grown adult friends, and we have all had a blast with it. This is not a deep, massive strategy game. It's not a game where, if you're going to do a lot of thinking, there's a little bit of thinking, but not much. This is a game that's for fun and families. Like I said, I will easily pull this out with just about anybody because it's not hard to figure out, I also like the idea that you're not using a dice to do roll and move with, I like that this is just strictly for the caves. Now, granted, with my young daughters, we do a little bit of finagling with the rules. Let's just be honest. 3 and 5. My 5-year-old kind of gets it. My 3-year-old's like, I just want to roll dice and kill you, Daddy. I want to kill your person, But she's so funny, But anyway, but you see how I'm smiling? This is the kind of stuff that this game gives you, especially if you've got a family. My wife really likes it. She takes it. She's not a heavy gamer. She likes light, maybe light to medium style games. She likes, Ticket to Ride, Splendor, things like that. Nothing too heavy. And she absolutely took to this. And it's just something that you can pull out, and it's easy to understand. People get it. You move, you gather treasures, It's not a hard game at all. And now, some people have complained about the box. I would agree. The box feels chintzy. I kind of wish they would have done something better with that, honestly. But I also did a crush video, kind of a crush style video where I put a ton of boxes on top of this box, of this one's box, and it was empty. I put Rebellion, I put, just heavy games, and I probably put 20, 25 pounds or more on top of it. Didn't crush it. Box was empty. So the box is fairly durable. I do wish it was different, though. I agree with a lot of what people say about it out there. The molds, I've heard some people say that some of the molding wasn't that great in some spots. For the most part, this one is great. I have no problems with it. I'm not quite sure how they could have done it better. I like the palm trees. The components are just spectacular. But I really like the idea of this system where you're able to pick the different things you want to do off the card, and that you can choose how far you want to move depending on which card you have. It actually it gives you decisions you can make right? You're still a little forced into what you're going to do because you've only got what you got, but you always get new cards every turn pretty much, so you know, there's that. So what would I give this as a rating? I give it about an 8 out of 10. This is a simple, fun, great family game that anybody can get into. I don't care if you're, because I like heavier games. I like light to heavy, but I typically gravitate towards the more thematic, heavy games, medium to heavy. And this really sold me on it. And I'm excited to get at the table. Anytime somebody brings it out, I'm like, yeah, I'll play it. It's fun, it's simple. And I just love being able to attack everybody else. And granted, when you play with kids, you gotta have a little bit of fun with that. But I also like the idea that with this Vulkar, you don't know which area a marble's gonna come out of its mouth. So you've always got a chance. In the old one, I think you always knew because it had one simple opening. And if you pointed it in a certain direction, that person's dead. I think you pointed it. I just know that if you were on that path, wherever he was pointed, you were dead. You know, and the marble's going to hit you. This one, you're never sure. And that's awesome. I like that idea. Keeps the chaos factor up, and you run the chance of not getting taken out. And I like that. So anyway, that's the review. Thank you so much for coming back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kaz. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe because it does help the channel out, and we are trying to grow a little bit. Anyway, thank you again. You have a blessed day, and game away. This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.